We're joined on the phone line now by Larry Kudlow, host of the Kudlow Report on CNBC and the Larry Kudlow Show, which can be heard on WMAL Saturdays at 7 p.m. And Larry, I thought I'd start by asking you, if it comes down to a decision for Republicans about, and it may in the House of Representatives, it may go back to the House and they may actually have to make this decision. If it comes down to trying to shut down Obamacare, but also to do it, you have to shut down the government or come close. Is it worth the fight?
No, I wouldn't go for the shutdown strategy, and I don't think they will. What I'm hearing, even though I admit it's not definitive and they haven't figured it out yet, but basically if a clean CR is returned to the House with the defunding provision taken out, then what's going to happen is Speaker Boehner and so forth will basically accept it because the battle they've won is they will keep the sequester at the lower spending levels. That will be kept. And Harry Reid said that yesterday, much to the consternation of the left wing of his party. So I think that's the deal. And I think they will move on to the debt ceiling in a couple of weeks. And again, my understanding is at the moment, the House leadership is thinking, well, we might try a delay of 1 year. Now, I'm not sure if that's the individual mandate or the whole Obamacare, but a 1 year delay on Obamacare would be some kind of companion bill to increasing the debt ceiling limits. That's what I hear is going to happen. There may be a Keystone Pipeline in there. Yeah. There might even be some tax reform instructions. But the main thing is they're going to come back with a 1 year delay on Obamacare, which is a position I wish they had taken at the very beginning, to tell you the truth, because I think if you had a vote in the Senate on a 1 year delay of the individual mandate with all of its flaws, including congressional exemption and the lack of verification, I think it would pass. I think it would pass the Senate floor with a half a dozen Democrats voting for it. Yeah, well, that's not what's going on.
A lot of people believe that, and also, a lot of people also say you won't get to that point where you reach that compromise unless you hold the line here as your starting position. But let me ask you this, Larry Kudlow. I know you like to make observations of how the media reports on these things. I mean, you just heard the audio of Harry Reid referring to his political opponents as anarchists.
Yeah.
And Harry Reid said that anything that doesn't fund Obamacare will be dead on arrival. But then your buddies over there at the Wall Street Journal, their headline is that Ted Cruz is taking a confrontational tone in the Senate. I mean, the media is really helping the Democrats in this fight, aren't they?
Perhaps. I don't know. I don't think, look, I'm an admirer of Senator Cruz, even though I have a tactical disagreement with him on this. And I think what he's done, really day by day, front page by front page headline, is kept Obamacare four square up front in the news.
Yes.
With all of its flaws. The country does not like Obamacare. The country does not like the individual mandate, nor does it like the taxes, nor does it like the spending. The country doesn't like the fact that Congress is exempting itself. There's a million things wrong with this, and that's why I wish they had started there. So I give Cruz credit, for keeping that alive. I don't think he necessarily played his cards right in a tactical sense, and it looks like Mitch McConnell is going to shut him down on the filibuster. So that's the new news as of last evening, actually late last evening. They're not going to have the filibuster. So okay, fine. So you'll go back to the House and you'll play some ping pong, and we'll see what the next step is.
Hey, I noticed that it's a story we haven't really gotten to this week. We've been so busy with other stuff that in the past weekend, Apple sold 9 million iPhones.
Right.
That's a pretty substantial number. Everybody thought, well, Apple, they're the has-been, they're washed up. They're not half the organization they used to be. But 9 million iPhones is a pretty substantial sale.
It's a fantastic sale, and it's driving the stock back up. I think the stock was up 5% yesterday. It's heading back towards $500, and you're right. It's absolutely a terrific thing. Apple is not dead. They may not have come out with any startling new technology innovations, but just in terms of sales, gross volume and margins, which is what they want to keep profitable, probably pay out dividends to their shareholders. Sure, they're doing great. Apple's doing great. I wouldn't write off Apple.
Well, why is that? Is that because so many people are invested in the Apple system and the iTunes and all that they just wear out their phone and they wait for a while? I mean, you've got a built-in market who just keeps every couple of years getting the newest phone.
Well, I think there's something to that. I think this one is more streamlined. I don't have it yet. I'll probably buy one, but
really?
I don't have it yet. But yeah, it's got its tremendous fan base.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't write Apple off. I just wanted to add one quick thing that happened. Yesterday there was an interview. This is Fed stuff, okay? But the Fed is going to play a major role in all these economic decisions. William Dudley, who is the president of the New York Fed and a permanent member of the Fed's policy committee, permanent vice chairman of the Fed's policy committee, he came out foursquare in an interview with CNBC for more accommodative monetary policy. In other words, I think his message was, don't expect any taper or slowdown of bond purchases anytime soon. Not happy with the economy, and he's worried about what's going on in Washington, D.C., and it really was a very interesting interview and kind of flagged that yeah, the Fed might taper down before the end of the year, but it might be at the end of the year, or it might not be until 2014. And I think it pushes back all the Fed efforts or all the Fed intentions to tighten up and, start the long road of unwinding their stimulus. That was a very important interview. Bernanke, Yellen, and Dudley were the three dovish horsemen who were pushing quantitative easing all during this period. So Bernanke is going to retire. Yellen's going to be nominated to be the next Fed chairman, and she's going to get there. She's going to win. And Dudley at the New York Fed is staying on that track. So I wouldn't expect any change in a loose, easy Fed policy for quite some time. I think that's what's the story.
Well, Larry, thank you. A pretty good assessment. I appreciate that. Larry Kudlow, you can see him on CNBC, and, of course, hear him on Saturdays at 7 p.m. right here on WMAL.